What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. I know it's still early, but it's going to be a good one. How you doing, Miss Ward?
Phenomenal. Eager to get into this topic. That's how I'm doing.
Yeah, me too. I'm super. Oh, I lost her. There she is. I'm super excited about it. And I was talking with Miss Ward in the pre-roll because we chat backstage before we go live every time and just talking, catching up, whatever. But this is something that I'm going to be talking about because I've failed at it. This is one of those things that um, I want you guys that are growing your businesses, that are just starting your businesses, that are just getting into it, or have been doing it for years, to think about the what ifs. And that's really what this is all about. It is cross training your team is what we're talking about, and the importance of doing that from the jump as soon as you start growing your business. Which I'll be perfectly transparent. I failed to do. I failed to do that, and it's important. It's so important. And Miss Ward, she knows a lot about this, so I'm gonna mostly just shut up and listen and let her talk. But before we get into all that, of course, we got to pray. I got a little scripture to share from the good old book of Proverbs, and then we're going to get into it. Miss Ward, you want to do the honors and pray us up?
Sure. Sure. Lord, thank you for allowing us to rise today just to be able to utter your holy name. Thank you for ordering our steps. Thank you for ordering our thoughts, our minds, our actions, and our goals. Lord, thank you for putting everything within us from the womb that we need to be successful at anything we choose to undertake with your blessings and grace. Lord, guide us throughout the day and let us understand that every day is not promised. And we want to say thank you for today. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Miss Ward. Love those prayers. Um, so the verse that I chose really has absolutely nothing to do with our topic today, but it's just a good verse. Proverbs 12:25. If you don't read Proverbs, I highly recommend it. It's a great book. My favorite book of the Bible. There's just so many little nuggets in there. But Proverbs 12, verse 25 says, worry weighs a person down, but encouraging words cheer a person up. And I've talked about this before on Facebook, YouTube, and different things like that. Worry is one of those things that does nothing for you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make anything better. The only thing it does is brings you down, and brings others down too around you. If you're the type of person that's constantly worrying, and it's easy as a business owner to get caught up in it. And I know it's a generic thing, or a generic prayer that a lot of people pray, the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. But meditate on that prayer and this scripture today, because the only things you can change are the things you can change. And the things you can't change, you've got to give them up, and you've got to let go. I know there's another generic saying, let go and let God, but stop worrying about things you can't change. And we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of doing that. So I pray that you guys today would let go of some worries. I got a lot of stuff that I'm worried about. But in the grand scheme of things, they're not worth worrying about unless I can do something about it. And for those of you that have been lifting up my team member in prayer, I appreciate it. My CSR's husband did go to be with the Lord the other day, so forgive me. It's been a little tough, I ain't gonna lie. And just continue to pray for her Continue to pray for her families, because me and Miss Ward were talking about it. It's just an unthinkable thing to lose a loved one, and so out of the blue. So thank you for the prayers that those of you that have been praying, and just continue to keep her and her family lifted up. So I won't get all teary on you guys, but thank you is all I can say. Let's see here. We got brother Adam checking in this morning. Good morning, brother. Got our boy Mike Carson, my brother from another mother. Mike Carson's profile picture looks like he's like a stand-up comedian or something, like he's at the Improv doing stand-up.
He is a stand-up comedian, honey. He's got that blue humor, but we ain't gonna tell nobody.
Mike said, "I'm worried you're going to bring me down to the." Nah, man, we got a meeting at 9. We're gonna rock this thing. We're excited. We got the Service Alliance Groups has meetings throughout the month, and we got one today. And I'm excited about this business conference. We've never done anything like this before. If you haven't checked it out, go over to servicealliancegroup.com. But December 2nd, we're meeting up here in Richmond. So all you East Coast folks, sign up, come out. It's going to be a day of learning and workshopping and networking. And we got some really good stuff to talk about. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be some presentations. We're going to do some presentations on some different topics. But it's going to be a lot of roundtable discussions and networking and things like that. Because one thing I've learned from being around the community so much is I get the most when smart leaders and entrepreneurs get together in a setting and just share ideas. Here's the topic. Let's talk about it. Just like we do on the Morning Grind. So we're super excited about that. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. But cross training. I'm gonna start it off, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Miss Ward. So, for the past 8 to 9 months, I have been knowing in my heart and telling my team, we've got to cross train. We've got to cross train. There's my CSR is the bomb. Shout out to her. But she was doing way too much, and she was the only person that knew how to do certain things. And we had SOPs in place and all that stuff, but we hadn't. SOPs are great, but if you don't use those SOPs to train other people's in your team, and that's what I wanted to do. And we were busy. Oh, we'll wait till we slow down. And then tragedy happens. And part of me almost didn't want to talk about this because I thought it would be almost somewhat selfish to be talking about this at a time when someone's going through something as catastrophic as my CSR is. But then I thought about it and I said, you know what? This is important because there's business owners out there that can jump on this now. There's business owners out there that have a team that's growing that have not cross-trained. Ask yourself this question. Is there a person in your organization, your company, your business that is the only person that knows how to do something? If the answer is yes, then you need to cross-train. And most likely it is. And I don't care if it's back office work. I don't care if it's something out in the field. But if there's something in your business, whether it's back office, secretarial, CSR type work, technician work, or whatever, if there's something in your business that you or someone else is the only person that knows how to do it, then you need to put cross-training as a priority in your business. So with that, I'm going to give it over to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really delicate situation because in my corporate life, one of the main things and one of the main staples I always kept in my back pocket is my ability to turn every employee I had into a hybrid. And people will freak out, but because they come in and they see my guys out in the shop, maybe one guy was changing oil, he was working that stand. Then the next day you see him cleaned up and he's at the counter taking customers' information because he was just that guy. And that's what I think people have to understand when they get into this cross training situation, is that they have to scout their team's talents. You follow me? Like everyone has, I made some notes here, so if I'm looking down, please excuse me. I just want to make sure I hit these points. I feel like we have to realize that when you are an owner and a leader, it is your responsibility to enhance their intrinsic gifts. Everybody has multiple gifts. And a lot of times they're not aware of it because they've never been given an opportunity to shine in those areas of opportunity. Not only is it an opportunity for the employee, but it's an opportunity for the team to grow and your business to grow. I feel like it's important that, you always hear employees griping about certain things at work. But then, I'm the person, I'm like, okay, what's the solution? And then I put them in charge of the solution. This is your baby, you running with it, and then implement it and move on. That's how I was able to go up the ladder so quickly, because I always thought outside the box. And when you're dealing with a team, you first have to get, as I always say, you must be disciplined. You must get yourself in order, because as you go to implement things, there are going to be challenges. And you're going to second guess, oh, I shouldn't have put this guy in this spot or this girl. When the reality is we all have training wheels, but you got to be able to plan it out. And I think part of the issue is not just doing the plan, but executing the plan flawlessly and consistently. And those are the things that people usually reach out. I have a note here about celebrating the wins and giving credit to the true heroes on your team. And I think so many times, I don't think people understand what a pat on the back and an attaboy does for somebody. Because a lot of times you're taking, particularly in our industry, and appliance repair, a lot of people would look at appliance repair as the guys who couldn't make it in HVAC or whatever, which I think is ignorant. But this is the world and the ones, and I be looking at the guys at HVAC like, bruh, it's the same way I used to look at the guys when I was in automotive who did diesel. I'm like, bruh, we work on complex machines over here in automotive and high end. You got I could take a hammer and fix that. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how you approach it and how you want to be viewed in your community and as the boss. The boss needs to be well learned and well trained. And as you begin to coach and cross train your team, because you know the job and know it thoroughly, you're going to see some of the glitches they're going to run into ahead of time. You're going to see them coming up to the frustrations. And then not only will you be able to develop a better SOP plan, standards of operation, but you'll also be able to put those curves and those protections in place so that when they hit the bump, like in bumper cars, they're not going to crash through the wall. They're just going to be bounced right back in to position. And I think that is very important. The thing I love about appliance repair, when you look at the people who've been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, who changed with the times. I remember going to my first, what was it when it was at the Trades Win? First ASTI 2019. And I watched these guys who were big into marketing, and these generations came in and they brought all that new technology, and I watched how those guys were getting awards and they were thriving X, Y, and Z. And then I looked at the guys that have been around a long time. They had all the technical knowledge, but they didn't change with the times. They were the ones to say, I'll never touch an LG and Samsung. You have to look at that in every aspect of your business. And when you look at it in every aspect of your business, you understand that I need to stay on top of my game. And then look at how AI is coming in. When AI, it comes in to eliminate, I ain't gonna say eliminate jobs, but AI is really here to help people, and most people don't understand that. It's really an extension of you, and it's able for you to take an employee that normally would be one job and turn them into 5 jobs, like 5 positions. But at the end of the day, some people don't want to change. So I got one last note here. I said to err is the human, but to continue to err on the same issues is ignorant. Point
Yep.
blank.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we were talking about this before the the grind here. You're the boss. Don't forget that. You are the boss. Miss Ward is the boss of Laser. TK is the boss of Richmond Appliance Guys. And one thing that I have struggled with over the years is I'll have all these grand ideas and all these grand things I want to do in my business. And I'll talk about them and talk about them and talk about them. But it's your job to make it happen. And if you're a new business owner or been around for a while and starting to grow your business, and you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't have any techs, I'm not worried about cross training. You need to worry about it still. You need to get your procedures in place so that once you start growing your team, once you hire that CSR, you can cross train her to take over the things that you have. And then once you've cross trained her and you add on other team members, you cross train them so that they can do the things. And not that they're going to do it all the time or whatever. I'll give you another perfect example is Sealed Systems. Say you're the only person, let's say you're a 3-man show and you got a CSR or whatever, or a few back office people, a nice moderate sized appliance repair company, but you're the only person in your company that knows how to do Sealed Systems. Well, that's not a very good place to be, because unfortunately what'll happen is you'll get sick, or you'll get something that comes up, or you'll go on vacation or whatever. Well, who's going to do the Sealed Systems? I had taken a step away from doing Sealed Systems, and I had Zach doing all of the Sealed Systems. I mean, he was knocking out sometimes 5 to 8 compressors a week. I mean, he was just killing it. And he decided to go to HVAC. Well, I hadn't cross-trained anybody else. So guess who's got to start doing Sealed Systems again? TK. Which I'm actually kind of excited about that. But y'all get the point of the thing. We got to cross-train. We got to. I'll tell you who would have been really good to have on here, and I'd love to talk to him about this one day, is Phil. Big Phil down in Georgia. He's the man. He does this thing in his company, which he's pretty much, I don't even think his company needs him to run anymore. He's done such an excellent job. Like, he's off doing his own little ventures. But he used to do a thing he told me about, and it was basically Phil died day. Phil's dead. He no longer exists, or he's gone off to a tropical island somewhere, and his company has to run without him. And it's a smart thing to do, because a very integral piece of his operation is obviously him. He's a smart guy. He's a great businessman, a great leader. But what happens when you take that out of the scenario, out of the company, and everybody's got to do their own thing? Do you have your stuff in line and your procedures in line and your team trained up enough so that if someone's taken out, it can still flow and still run like a well-oiled machine? I mean, it's not easy. I'm going to let you know right now, it is not easy, because at the end of the day, when someone gets sick or someone is out for a significant amount of time, it's too late to cross-train. Guess what we did? We scrambled. I'll be straight up with you. We have scrambled. We were refined through the fire, but Ms. Ward kept telling me something. She's like, everything happens for a reason, TK. Everything happens for a reason. And that kept echoing in the back of my mind. And I'm trying my best to look at the silver lining, because there is a silver lining, and not to take away from, obviously what's happened is horrible, but I've seen some holes in my company and in my business that I would not have seen had this not happened. And I'm taking those things and looking at them and saying, all right, what do I need to do as an owner? What do I need to do as a leader? What do I need to do as the head of this team to make things run better. And it's a lot. I could write a book on it, but Saul's checking in. Good morning, Saul. Buenos dias, amigo. Dios te bendiga. Cross training is so important. They don't have to be the best at all things, but knowledge of the operations goes a long way, especially when a team member goes down. Absolutely. And one thing that me and Miss Ward were talking about, and that she brought up, a lot of times when you cross train and you put people into situations and positions, whether temporarily or whatever, that they're not used to, they'll find things about themselves or strengths or weaknesses or whatever that they didn't know. You might have somebody that's doing a certain job and they do a good job at it, and then you cross train them in another area and you find out, oh wow, this person right here is way better in this spot. This person is a beast at sealed systems, or this person is a beast at scheduling calls or whatever it is. So never limit yourself or limit your team to say, this is it. Zach Kreider uses a phrase all the time that I love, and that's aces in their places. But at the end of the day, how do you know who is the ace in that place unless you give them the opportunity? And cross-training is a great way to do that. Seeing people's strengths, seeing people's weaknesses. And as you're doing it, and you have these SOPs and these procedures, don't be afraid to change things. If you start retraining somebody and you find a hole or a glitch or something that could be improved in your procedures, cross-training is a great time to tighten up those procedures. You have these SOPs for a reason, but they're not set in stone. Just like anything in your business, those SOPs can evolve. My SOPs have evolved greatly. From 3 years ago to now, it's completely different. The way we do things is completely different. And as you're cross-training, one thing that I would suggest is that the person that is being trained write down their own procedures of what they're learning. That's one thing that I've actually talked about as we're planning to cross-train, is that when we're cross-training, that person that's learning might take something different or have a suggestion or have something, but have them write it down as they go, so that you might make some changes in your procedures. You might make some changes in what you do and how you do things. Got Rob Jones checking in. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. Everything is good. We had JoJo check in. I don't think I gave him a shout out. JoJo's in the house. But yeah, the biggest thing that I want everybody to take away from this, because you're all owners, is that you have to be the one that makes these things happen. You have to be the one that implements that, whether it's cross training or SOPs or changes in your business or whatever. If there's something that you've been wanting to do, it's up to you as the business owner to lead and positively make it happen. Make it happen through a positive way, through encouraging. That scripture this morning talked about encouraging words. Encourage your team to go out there and do their best and learn more and train more and whatever. I could go on and on. Miss Ward, what you got? I'm talking a lot.
All right. Well, I think that we have to look at the blueprint. Okay. I think a lot of times we are running and gunning so hard. I've been guilty of it. You get into the industry, start making money, calls keep coming, and you just knocking it out. You have a hiccup here and there, you get over it and you just keep going, because it's like you printing money in appliance repair. If you're running it right, you are truly printing money. When you get to the point where your technical game is in point, your triage game is on point, your productivity, like when I was out on jobs with my apprentice yesterday, and one of the things that we do is when he's with me, I was like, okay, start the stopwatch, because we time ourselves. We make sure that our time is very precise. We're not rushing, but we're making sure we're not losing time. We're looking at time between jobs. We're making sure that we're asking for the 5-star on the way out, like all that type of thing. But the thing that I think people need to understand is look at your blueprint. You should be adjusting. I personally feel like you should be adjusting, doing slight, minute, because I'm James Clear Atomic Habits all day long. And I feel you should always be reevaluating and adjusting on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about major moves. Like prime example, I ran into something yesterday and I made sure when I came home, I looked up some things, looked at some support and resource material so that when I saw that situation again, I'd be quicker and better and more efficient. You know why? Because I understand that while that is fresh, let me address it. Takes me 15, 20 minutes to review it, and I'm going to be more confident. That's how you run a business. You hold yourself accountable. You make sure your discipline is in order, because you have to look and say, am I disciplined enough that I could turn around, hand this off to someone, and they can do this just like I do it? Because my step-by-step procedures in place. And I think that's really important. I think that we have to look
Yep.
at the cross-chain options with, you say, the CSR. Your CSR could be doing your warranty paperwork. They could be doing parts reconciliation. They could do follow-up. It's so much they can do. And what I don't think people understand is that most employees waste your time and your money because they are not properly challenged and focused. But then that goes back to your hiring process. Who are you hiring? And are you the example that you want your employees to be? Like, there's so many levels to this game, and it always starts with you. If you're gonna do it right, or don't do it at all. You're gonna be human and make
Amen.
mistakes, but you should be always improving, and you should be holding yourself accountable. That's all I got.
Yeah, and that accountability piece is huge. When you're the boss, sometimes it's easy to not have that accountability. That's why, in my personal opinion, it's good to have that inner circle of people that hold you accountable. Miss Ward holds me accountable. EJ holds me accountable, and I try to do the same thing for them. But as the leader, as the boss, as the person that's out there in charge of steering the ship and making it go the direction you want it to go, you have to take the reins and do your thing. I really appreciate this time this morning, because it's I mean, if nobody else is taking anything away from this, I am. But I hope you guys are getting something from it. I'm excited about the future. And I'm excited to see what the next chapter is. Because I'll tell you, I'll give you a little example. And Miss Ward talked about the small changes. Atomic Habits, Miss Ward turned me on to, and it's one of my absolute favorite books now. But Atomic Habits talks a lot about making those small changes each and every day. I made one small change in the way I did things. Miss Ward's familiar with Workies, but with Workies, you can make tags for jobs, and you can make the tag say whatever you want it to say. You can make it different colors. You can do all these different things. I made a small little change. Me and my partner, Austin, made a small change when we first started taking over the scheduling process. And we made a tag that said, awaiting customer confirmation. And what that did is it allowed us to put people into the schedule that were tentative. Now we have a status, a sub-status that's tentatively scheduled. And it basically, you click on that so that it doesn't send the customer a notification yet. But we made this tag so that anybody that goes in there, whether it's me, Austin, Stone, Beth, whoever, anybody that goes in, the technicians, anybody that goes in and looks at that jobs, there's a big red tag on the front of that job that says, hey, this customer has not confirmed this job yet. And you have, in my company, you have 24 hours to confirm. And if you don't confirm in that time, you lose it. Because at the end of the day, I don't have time to be scheduling jobs in a hope and a prayer, fingers crossed that somebody's going to be there. No, I'm taking in 50 plus calls a day. I have to fill that slot so that my guys can work. But that's just an example. Miss Ward, as always, you knocked it out the park. I appreciate you. You got any closing words or anything you got before we go?
Well, all I can say, the magic word, execute, execute, execute. Continue to execute. Even when you fall in, anytime let me tell you something, you're having a bad day, get up and do it anyway. That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you got to get it done. So check your feelings and your emotions and all that stuff at the door and go out there and do it. I again thank you guys for your prayers. I thank you for your thoughts. And I appreciate you for your continued prayers with this situation that we've been going through. And as I said before, Richmond Appliance guys and everything here, it's important, but it's not that important. What's important is my CSR and her family and her getting through this. And I'm just super thankful for all the people that have reached out to me and showed love. So thank you guys. Once again, One Day Business Conference, the Alliance Business Conference is going down December 2nd on the East Coast right here in good old Richmond, Virginia. It is going to be a hands-on workshop. This isn't going to be sitting around with hours of PowerPoint presentations. This is going to be us getting together, networking, roundtable discussions. There's going to be some PowerPoints. There's going to be all that good stuff. But this is going to be an opportunity for the people of the Alliance community, the business owners, to get together and really rub shoulders, chop it up, network. And I highly encourage you to get a hotel and stay the night if you're coming, because we're going to be hanging out after hours. The whole crew is going to be there. Me, Zach, Mike, EJ, hopefully a lot of other people. I hope Miss Ward can come. I really do. But either way, if you can make it, come. We're going to start doing these hopefully several times a year all over the country. This is just the first one, so we're kind of spearheading it. And we've got some really good topics. Me and Zach are going to be talking about networking in business, which is a great topic. We're going to be talking about using technology to your advantage in the service industry, which is huge. Technology is changing, y'all. So if you don't get with it, you're going to get left behind. Just like we've seen with all the new stuff that's come down the market. I was out yesterday on a bespoke Samsung refrigerator with blue doors. And I walked in and I said, oh crap, here it is. And fortunately it was a super easy fix. So that was cool. But anyway, we're a little bit over. Thank you guys again. Shout out to all the solid steppers out there. If you have not subscribed to Miss Ward's YouTube channel and you have some thick skin and you like to hear it raw and uncut, go over there and give her a like, give her a subscribe, show her some love. She's always dropping gems over there at Solid Steps to Wealth. So shout out to you guys. If you haven't signed up to servicealliancegroup.com, make sure you go over there, sign up, get that membership. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@servicealliancegroup.com. And we'll see you next time, guys. Hope you have a great day. Peace. Peace.